Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode we took on the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round, and we managed to make them into mincemeat sort of thing. We took them out in 4 games. It was a pretty good series for our entire team, I'd say, especially a few guys, but we managed to get the job done, and now we're up here in round 2 against, as you can see, the Colorado Avalanche, which are going to be posing a pretty big problem, I'd say, just based on the fact that they've already won a Stanley Cup a few years ago in real life, and they have like almost the exact same roster. But anyways, for our first round, you can see we got some good depth scoring throughout our entire lineup. Almost everybody on the team picked up a point, and then you had some standout players like Ep.5, who picked up 5 goals through 4 games to really help out our offense quite a bit. So hoping for more goal scoring from guys like Kyle Connor, also guys like Nick Ehlers, Mark Scheifele. Yes, they did pick up a lot of assists, but they definitely need to get their goal scoring together, because Iafallo scoring the most goals after round 1 is definitely something I didn't have in mind. We also got a good point production from Josh Morrissey, who had a couple multi-point games to pick up 8 points in 4 games. Neil Pionk missed a couple games, but he is back to full health, which is good, so hopefully he's ready to go for round number 2. And then, yeah, Matt Roy, I think it's Matt Roy because he's born in Detroit, I looked up, so I'm going to say Matt Roy from now on. If I say Waugh, it's accidental, but he was really good defensively with Morrissey. We had Heinola, who was great defensively, so just hoping for a very solid outcome in the second round. Obviously, it's going to be posing a much bigger problem, because if we actually go to the Colorado Avalanche's playoff stats instead of looking through their lines like I was showing you guys in the last episode, basically, you could see Nathan MacKinnon, really good player. He was pretty much like Alex Iafallo was for us, but he picked up a couple more assists in round 1. And then you also had some other good goal scoring from some guys. But you do have Rantanen, who has no goals so far. Landeskog has no goals, which is kind of weird. Thomas Tatar has no goals. There's a lot of guys on their team who have yet to score. Devin Taves. Cale Makar only has 1 goal. So I am kind of concerned that they're randomly going to find their offense really good in the second round and they're going to like destroy us, but who knows, maybe we'll be able to not allow them to score a lot either, because in the first round they didn't score a lot. It was mainly because of Georgiev that they got out of the first round in 5 games only, because he was absolutely locked in. He was even better than Connor Hellebuyck was for us, so it should be an interesting goaltending matchup for sure. And hopefully we could find a way to shut down, especially Nathan MacKinnon, it looks like, because he was definitely their best goal scorer by far. But anyways, that is that. Let's get ourselves into this second round against the Colorado Avalanche and see if we could come out on top in Game 1. We are going to be playing in Ball Arena for the first 2 games, obviously, because Colorado won the President's Trophies, so we will not have home ice until next round if we are to get there, maybe. I don't know if Edmonton or the Golden Knights finished above us. But this is definitely going to be our toughest task to win in the playoffs. If we could get out of this round, we could probably beat any team in the West, even the Oilers, because the Oilers don't have as good of depth, but we would need to shut down McDavid and stuff. So we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but you never know. Maybe we'll be able to destroy this Avs team. So let's get into game number 1. I am going to change myself over to the new playoff sim screen area, because for some reason, like I didn't realize before I started recording, but I realized mid-recording that basically my face was in a bad spot during the sim engine, and some of you guys recognize that as well. So I will have myself in a different position when we're in the sim screen. So let's get into game 1. Let me make sure this face is actually in a good spot. Yeah, that's in a pretty good spot. Shouldn't be able to cover too much goals. So here we go. Game number 1, first period in Colorado, and it is 2-0 Avs. Exactly what I was kind of expecting. They would get some offense going right off the gate, because they were not good offensively in the first round, so you could definitely tell they're a little bit angry, as Logan O'Connor opened the scoring early on, and Thomas Tatar scores his first goal of the postseason. We're being outshot 13-6, so this is not an ideal start for our team. Hopefully we could find a way to maybe get our offense going a bit in the second period, because like I said, our offense has been good in terms of the depth scoring, but mostly everybody on our team has only 1 goal for. It's only Iafallo really who's been able to score multiple. So if we rely on Iafallo only, we're going to be in a problematic state. We need more guys to chip in more than 1 time in this playoff run. So let's see if we can have a better second period, get at least 1 back, and maybe we could claw back into it in the third period. So second period, 3-0 Avs. Man, Nathan MacKinnon again. Connor Hellebuyck's not doing terrible, I would say, considering we're getting outshot 26-14, but definitely our offense needs to be much better here in this round if we want to actually find a way to win this, because we need to contain their offense and we need our offense to do what it can do. So let me actually move my face cam a little bit while we're recording, because I feel like it's a little bit in a weird spot. Let's move this over to right there. I think this is the first time I've ever tried moving my face in video, so I don't know how that's going to look on your guys' end, but it'll be interesting when I go to edit this video. But let's see if we could maybe get something to get ourselves going for next game, because I don't think we're going to win this game, but maybe we could get some goals to kind of give us a little bit more confidence going into next game, which would be good. Hasn't been an ideal first game, but at least we're only keeping them to 3 goals. It's not like we're down like 6-0 or something like that, because if we were down 6-0, I would feel even worse about our game. But I would say that was an okay defensive effort. Of course, Devin Tays. Wow, we pulled the goalie down 3-0. Okay, that's interesting. Don't think I've seen that in a while. So we pulled the goalie trying to get 3 goals back, apparently, but unfortunately that didn't work out as we lose 4-0. So a solid defensive effort, but yeah, we definitely need to find a way to shut down those top guys. As you can see, like Makar picked up an assist, MacKinnon had the goal, Rant and Landeskog had assists. So if we could shut down those guys, we'll have a better shot at winning for sure. And I guess I should go back over to the other screen here while we look at these. So let's look at the stats. So you can see Georgie first star, he's been really good so far this playoff run. Logan O'Connor the 2nd star, and Devon Taves the 3rd star. I don't know if I would change anything after game 1. Maybe I should, just to see if we could get our offense sparked a little bit, since we did get shut out. So yeah, let's go ahead and adjust our lines a little bit. I know it was only 1 game, but we definitely need to find ourselves offensively, because if we don't, we're going to run into problems, as Nemesnikov is apparently losing some morale because of ice time. But I could throw him in instead of Kupari, because Kupari hasn't done much. He hasn't been bad defensively, but let's get Nemesnikov in the lineup. He was very good as a depth option during a regular season. And then we will maybe move Iafallo into the top 6, because he was very good in the first round. So Niederreiter would get demoted down to the 3rd line with Nemesnikov and Lowry. And I think that's almost all I'll do. Maybe I'll move Barron to the center, move Gustafsson to the wing. It gets rid of the plus, so never mind. Defensively, what do I want to change up here? Even though I do like Morrissey with Roy, I am going to move DeMello up to the top pairing and then have Pionk and Roy. So maybe that could help Pionk a little bit, because Pionk's more of a defensive liability. And then we are going to still keep Stanley and Heinola. And goalie-wise, obviously still going to be Connor Hellebuyck. Velarde's still out for quite a bit longer. I forgot to mention that he did get injured in last playoff round. Or actually, yeah, it was in last playoff round after a few games. So he played like 2 games, and now he will be out until I think it is like late May. So there is a chance he will return this playoff run if we could find a way to get past this Avalanche team. Okay, let's get to another all-important playoff game. Let's get to game number 2. We'll go back over here again. I'm going to be bouncing around like the DVD things back in the day. Let's see what happens here in game 2. See if we could get our offense going. First period. And it is scoreless. So we have yet to score in 5 straight periods. That's not a good look. So yeah, Georgiev is still locked in. And great first period from Connor Hellebuyck to keep us in it, though, because we got outshot 16-8. So we definitely need to find a way to get that offense going, because that's the biggest concern right now. I've liked our defensive play up to this point, but we definitely need to find a way to score some goals. Let's see if we can do that in the second period. Second period, it is, oh my goodness, 3-0 Avs. That's not a good second period, but we are being badly outshot. This game is definitely still not on Hellebuyck. This is on the rest of the team. Yikes. Johansson scores, Ross Colton scores, and Jonathan Drouin scores. Shots are 31-14 at the end of 2. Yeah, we're just getting completely outplayed. All 3 of those goals from like really good shooting areas. So yeah, this team is not doing too well in terms of getting offense going for our own side, and then like that defensive play maybe cost us, because those 3 goals, well, 2 of them were like not too far apart. The last goal was a ball breaker though. If we were only down by 2 goals, we'd still be in this game, but being down by 3 going into the third, we're going to need a very strong comeback if we want to win this game. And we start with a power play in the third. We do not score on it. Oh my goodness, and Druin makes it 4-0. Why can't we not find our offense at all, it seems like, in this round? There's definitely a lack of offense. Like, that might be something we need to address in the next season, is trying to find ourselves somebody that could bring more offense, because right now, that's definitely our biggest problem. And, yeah, 5-0 final for the Avs, so they shut us out in back-to-back games. Kind of felt like after that first round that this was going to be a tough task for us. We need to find our offense on home ice. Georgiev with back-to-back shutouts. He has it on easy mode with this team in front of him. Drew in the second star, 2 goals on their 4th line, I think. And Cale McCart, a 3rd star. What do we need to do to get our offense going? Maybe readjust the power play unit or something. The Avs are 6-1 now this postseason. I feel like we're going to get swept, though, because whenever you sweep the first round convincingly, then you end up getting, like, swept completely in the second round sometimes. So, what do we want to do? Let me move my head again because I keep forgetting. Let's go over to here. Yep, there we go. That's better. What do we want to do? Let's split up the top line. So, Ehlers, you're going to be going down to line 2. Barabanov back with Scheifele and Connor. Ehlers can play with... Perfetti's done actually jack shit, to be honest. Only 1 goal in 6 games. I am going to move the youngster back down to the 3rd line and move Adam Lowry up, because Lowry's been technically better, which might be a bad thing to do, but let's see if that works out. And we will probably also... Does Ehlers only have that 1 goal? Yeah, he does. Jeez, man, he's been terrible. Let's move Nick Ehlers to the left side here. Move Niederreiter up, I think. Yeah, Niederreiter up. Move Iafallo back to center. And then, yeah, put Perfetti, I guess, on the wing. I don't really know what I want to do to try and get this team better. We just need to find a way to spark that offense a bit. Let's go Heinola top pairing. And, yeah, we'll have DeMello with Stanley. I liked Heinola's game a lot during the regular season, so that's what we'll test. Like I said, this has not been on Connor Hellebuyck. He's been still our best player, I think, this playoff run. I would go to Laurent Persois at some point, but Hellebuck's our guy. We're paying him the big bucks to get it done, so we got to hope that our offense could find itself if we want to get back in the series, or else this might be an easy cakewalk for the Colorado Avalanche. So let's get into game number 3 as we shift to home ice. Let's see if we could use this home ice to our advantage. If we could get 2 wins here on home ice, it will be a brand new series. If we lose 1 game, we're going to definitely be in a bad spot. So here we go, first period of game number 3. We need our offense to get going, so if we do not score a goal in this period, I'm going to be very, very concerned. First period of game 3. And we're down 2-0. Are you kidding me? We have not scored in 7 straight periods. We have not scored since last round. And that was a game that I accidentally calendar simmed instead. Thomas Tatar and Josh Manson. Man, this is not good. At least the shots were pretty close, so it was a better first period in that sense, but the lack of goal scoring is very concerning for our team at this point. We need a goal in the second period, because if we go scoreless for 3 straight games, holy crap, man, that would not be good. This Colorado team better win the Stanley Cup if they're going to beat us this easily. Second period. 2-1. Hey, our first goal of the series, and it's from Nick Ehlers, who got demoted a couple times. Finally, we got a goal, and we're back in this game. If we could find a way to tie it in the third, that would be amazing. Shots are in our favor, 24-20, so we're finally outplaying them for a game, but Georgiev is completely locked in. We need that next goal in the third period here, boys. Come on, let's fight us off. If we could get this to OT and win this game, and we're back in the series. If we lose this game, we need to win 4 straight games against the best team in the league, which is not going to happen probably. Come on, boys. Get another goal. You only have 1 goal this series. We need more than a goal. Final few minutes. Still down by 1, and they get the empty net. Mikko Rantanen. We only have 1 goal in our first 3 games of this series. So, yeah, definitely offense is not consistent at all. Connor Hellebuyck got first star in that game, despite the loss. Georgiev the 2nd star, and Thomas Tatar the 3rd star. Yeah, this is not good. Ehlers from Niederreiter and Morrissey. I don't know what we need to do to get this offense being better in the offseason, because Obviously, we're going to be losing some players because of this in the offseason because of the cap situation. And then we might have to rework who's in our top 6 and all that stuff. We might have to pull off a big trade at some point because maybe somebody from that original core has to go this early on, and we have to free up cap space that way a little bit and try and contend still by bringing in something that might help us out in the long run. But yeah, this has been a disaster of a second round. Might be the worst second round performance I've seen in franchise mode. So hopefully we could find a way to get ourselves back into the series. I know we have to win 4 straight games, but if we could win at least 1 game in this round, I'll take it. But this Avs team is just really, really good at suffocating that offense. Like, there's got to be something that works, right? Has Scheifele been doing much this round? No, he's not picked up a single point. Oh my goodness. We pay these guys so much money and they just don't do anything. Let's split up Scheifele and Connor and make Ehlers play back on the top line again. We'll go to Iafallo as the second line center since he at least scored a lot in the first round. And the rest of this will stay the same, I think. Let me just see. That Velarde injury is definitely hurting a little bit, even though he wasn't the best offensive player in the regular season. Any badly minus players? Oh my goodness, Neil Pionk has been dragging his team down. How many years does he have? 1 more year after this. Neil Pionk might be one of these guys we trade for a better forward in the offseason. Sure, he brings some offense, but his defensive play this round has been absolutely terrible. I almost feel like scratching him, to be honest, for the last game, but it wouldn't really make sense. Do I scratch him? He has definitely been our worst defender. If you look at plus minus, he's a complete outlier from the rest. So, you know what? We're scratching Neil Pionk. I know it's a weird thing to do, but Dylan Sandberg's going to take his spot. Actually, I'll get to Mello on the top. Maybe not up there, because that would be 2 righties next to each other. But, yeah, we're going to scratch Neil Pionk. I've not been impressed with his play. Is there anybody that's really bad plus minus wise on the forward core? There is a -4 in Kyle Connor, but he's one of our star players, so never mind. Yeah, I think the outlier definitely was Neil Pionk. He's been very, very bad. His injury might have caused him to not be that good defensively, who knows, but he's been a complete liability, so we definitely need to find ourselves somebody. I think we definitely could trade him away this offseason and try and find somebody more offensively minded that's not on the blue line to maybe help our team out a little bit, but looks like we're going to be getting knocked out here in round 2. Let's see if we can fight off elimination. We'll do a real-time simulation. Let me go back over to the playoff screen again. And yeah, let's do a real-time sim and see if we could fight off elimination. Get at least 1 win in the second round, because getting swept in the second round is not a good look for a team that wants to win a Stanley Cup. Mikko Rantanen opens the scoring for the Avs, and we answer back. Kyle Connor, okay. That's a good thing to see, but Nathan MacKinnon answers back for them. Good to see Kyle Connor getting on the board, but it's way too late at this stage. Drouin makes it 3-1. Of course, Connor Hellebuyck's going to have a tough first period in this game, and we get outshot 19-11 after 1. If you're giving up 19 shots in the first period, you're definitely going to be having an uphill climb. That first period's definitely not on Hellebuyck. He made 16 saves, but our team just gave up way too much good chances. All 3 of these goals coming from pretty much in close, which kind of sucks. So let's see if we could get back into this game, but it looks like we might be getting swept here. And I wouldn't bat my eye if the Avs end up winning the Stanley Cup here. Kyle Connor scores again to pull us within 1. Good to see him getting 2 goals in a game finally. He had not scored in who knows how long at this point. Maybe since like game 1 of last round. I don't even remember when he scored. Arturi Lehkonen restores the 2-goal lead for the Avs. That's not a good goal to give up. We're being outshot 28-27, so much better second period in terms of offense, but that late goal that Lehkonen scored is not one you want to have. So that one's on Hellebuyck, but the rest of them I would not put on Hellebuyck for sure. I would put it on the team definitely for not being good defensively. Well, third period, it looks like we're going to get swept. Yep, Nichushkin makes it 5-2. This is unfortunate. Just a lack of offense. Hellebuyck did what he could do, but this team just could not match up against a team this good. 7 goals against. Holy crap, man. Okay, now that's starting to get on Hellebuyck. Maybe he's just kind of getting pissed off with the team. 8 goals against. That's 4 goals against in this third period. as we get swept in round number 2. Final shots were 41-37, but that is not a good look for this team. Oh man, yeah, that's not good at all. When we're supposed to be contending for a Stanley Cup, we get knocked out in the second round. Of course, it's against a really good team, but still, I'm not very impressed with the team's performance. Connor from Niederreiter and Morrissey, Connor from Ehlers, and yeah, they scored way too many goals in that game. We had some okay defensive efforts before then, but that was definitely our worst. A lot of their guys had points in that game. Almost everybody on the team had points for them except for 2 defenders. And then Georgiev was completely locked in every single game in that round. Holy crap, the plus minus as well. Heinola was a -4. Wow. And goaltending wise, yeah, Hellebuck definitely just kind of gave up near the end of it, I think. I think he still probably wants out at this point. Maybe that contract extension never should have happened in real life, because I think he would have wanted out at this point, because that's another disappointing effort from the Winnipeg Jets in the playoffs. But oh man, that sucks. That was a terrible, terrible second round. Let's take a look at our player stats after the second round, see if there was anything actually good about this team. Scheifele had no points at all in that second round. -5 through 8 games is not good too. Lowry 3 points. I don't think any of these guys really picked up much points because obviously we didn't score a lot. But yeah, not good at all. I mean, we got some depth scoring in the first round, but Kyle Connor ended up stepping it up in the late stages, like way too late for us to come back. Iafallo didn't pick up a single goal in round 2 after 5 in the first round. Nick Ehlers was -7. Oh my goodness. I don't know what this team needs. Do not know what this team needs. We need to restructure this defensive core maybe a bit. The offense definitely needs to be improved. And then Hellebuck needs to put in obviously a little bit better of an effort in that last game, but I think he's just fed up with this team in front of him. So I'm not going to put that round on him at all. I'm going to put it on like probably the forward core for not getting offense done for us. And then also in that last game, I would put it on the defensive core for sure. Well, that's not good. Let's find out who ends up winning the Stanley Cup, and yeah, I guess draft lottery results, retirements, that type of thing. Wrap up this first season in the PEG. Velarde's back. Let's just go best lines. Not that it matters because we're already out of the playoffs. Who is going to win the Stanley Cup? It is Colorado. So at least we lost to the best team in the NHL, but it still hurts definitely just the same. So Colorado winning the Stanley Cup in 2024 as they beat who? The Toronto Maple Leafs, okay, in 5 games. I know Leafs fans would absolutely get mad about that. So there we have it. It's Toronto and Florida in the conference finals. It's kind of interesting. Okay. So there is that. Let's take a look at the award winners. So Stanley Cup, obviously the Colorado Avalanche. President's Trophy, the Colorado Avalanche. I feel like I've seen a lot more teams winning the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup in the same season in franchise mode this year. Could be just me, but I feel like maybe they changed something in the system about winning President's Trophies. Maybe not, but I could be wrong. So Colorado, Toronto Stanley Cup Finals. Nathan MacKinnon, the Art Ross and the Hart. Adam Fox wins the Norris in year 1. David Pastrnak, the Lady Byng. Connor Bedard winning the Calder, not a surprise considering Chicago out to the playoffs because of him. Nathan MacKinnon also wins the Conn Smythe. Connor Hellebuck did win the Vezina for us. He put in a good effort in the playoffs for the most part, except for obviously that last game. And then the Jennings also went to Hellebuck. What else we got here? Masterton, David Savard. Washington's head coach wins the Jack Adams. The Selke going to ROR. Nathan MacKinnon of the Lindsay, and Rantanen the Richard. A lot of Avs players winning awards. AHL-wise, any awards for our team? Eric Stahl winning some awards in the AHL is kind of funny. No AHL awards. Okay, so there is that. Now let's take a look at the retirements and all that stuff. And I guess get primed up for the draft for next episode and re-sign stage. So Seattle wins the draft lottery. Talk about rigged, falling from 11 to 1. And then Arizona at number 2. Vancouver falls 1 to 3. Yikes. Philly at 4 and Nashville at 5. We don't really have a lot of picks in this draft. We have our first rounder still, which is good, but we have like a third rounder, I think I looked, and 2 fifth rounders, so we don't have a lot of picks to deal with this draft. But yeah, hopefully we can still find something decent for the future. Lucic retired, okay. Pretty much the type of players you would expect to retire at this stage. And goalie-wise, Anders Lindback, the only goalie to retire, huh? And Lucic was the best player to retire, which is kind of hilarious. Him and Shea Weber. So there you go. Did we lose any coaches? Yes, we lost Malachi Christensen in the AHL. Did we lose any NHL coaches? Yes, we did. Ben Booth and Kelly Sweetland. So we might have to look at replacing some of those coaches. Definitely that might be a thing that we look into, is getting a better coach. Since we're drafting late in the first round, I guess we should do some interviews here. I normally don't do interviews too much, but I feel like maybe it would be useful here. Since we are going to be a late first round pick. There is Galvis listed as a gem, so I'll already pin him as a top 4 defenseman. That might be not a bad option. We should maybe also interview... Is Julius Mettinen a real player? Because he is in the WHL, but I feel like this is a generated name. I cannot tell who's real and who's not, because this is the first time I'm using this roster update, so I don't know who's a real prospect and who isn't. Mettinen must be a real player. Yeah, because he's a Finn playing in the WHL. You don't see that generated that often. I don't want to interview anybody that's actually a real player right now, I don't think. Medium top 9 in the second round. Let's see if maybe there's anybody like that could be elite that I could interview. Let's see. Ino Pekarainen. Might as well interview him. He might be medium elite. He's probably not, but I do want to interview at least one guy just to find out a little bit more about them, because our scouts didn't do the best job, so we definitely need to replace our scouts this offseason as well. We'll probably do that in next episode. This guy's a playmaker. How ready is he? He has a lot of learning to do, so he might be 5 years out, which might give him a chance to be in a good potential. That takes a long time to develop. And let's go for his greatest strength, which is probably his passing, just based on the fact he said he's a good passer. Oh, it's a shot. Interesting. So he might not be a playmaker. He probably is still a playmaker, but with a good shooting category. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. I don't know if this guy's going to be that good. He doesn't look great on paper, but he could be medium elite. There is a chance. I will pin him since we interviewed him. Anybody else? Let's see. There's a guaranteed lowly power forward. That's actually amazing. Okay, that guy might for sure be our 3rd round pick. He's 5 years out, so that other guy might be lowly too. But Aiden Irving would be a great pick for this team. A great pick for sure. Let's see. Anybody else I want to interview that might be lowly? There is Nilstorp. He actually looks okay. Yeah, let's interview Nilstorp as well, and I think that's all I'll interview in this episode, because I don't want this episode being like 40 minutes if I interview all these players and all that stuff. So, let's see. What is your play style there, Mr. Magnus Nilstorp? He's a 2-way forward. Okay, what is your readiness? Let's see. A few seasons, so that might be like 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. And what is your greatest skill? It's probably going to be skating or something, my guess. I don't really like this conversation system too much. It's got to be my skating, yeah, of course. But yeah, I don't really like this conversation system too much. I feel like it definitely is a bit chunky and needs to be reworked a bit. But that's just me personally. 3-year ETA is pretty solid for a 2nd rounder. He might be a medium top 9 though still too. So that's a bit of a riskier one, but I will still pin him. Let's take a look at goalie prospects here briefly too. Might as well interview this guy. Yeah, might as well interview Ilya Vorobiev. Because the thing is, we do need to look maybe for replacements for Hellebuyck at some stage, so that's why I'm already looking at goalies a little bit. Even though we don't have a lot of picks in this draft, might as well interview some and see if we could find somebody to replace him at some stage. Hybrid goalie, not a surprise considering mostly everybody's a hybrid goalie these days. He has a lot of learning to do, so he's probably like 5 years out. Maybe longer than that. And what is your greatest skill? Let's see. His vision. Okay, well, it's good that you could see the puck. Because if you can't see the puck, you can't make a save. Okay, so there is our draft interviews. Yeah, this guy's 5+ years out. He might be an elite goalie based on the fact that that potential change to a like medium franchise. He might be an elite goaltender. He had a very good season, it looks like, in Russia through 4 games. So, Ilya Vorobyev might be an interesting goalie. He's from Ukraine too, which is cool. Yeah, maybe Ilya Vorobyev would be an okay pick at some stage. But like I said, we don't have a lot of picks in this draft, so tough to say. Let's look at the draft board here briefly. What picks do we have? We have 22nd, and then we have our 3rd rounder and 2 5ths. So, yeah, we're not going to get a whole lot in this draft, but we definitely need to find at least some good steals here. Tony Yakola. Is this guy real? Probably not. 4-year ETA. He's probably only just a top 6 forward. I'd probably rather go with, like, one of those other guys. So there is that. I'll also show you guys quickly our depth chart. As you can see, our offense and defense don't have the best ratings. Goaltending also could use some work too. So there's that. Final few things: contract situation and progress reports, and then that'll be it for this episode. So here's who is up for renewal. Now my question is to you guys: who will come back? Let me actually get rid of my face here for a second. We got Barabanov, we got Niederreiter, who wants to come back or doesn't want to come back. We have DeMello, Roy, Heinola, and then we have a bunch of our other RFAs. So the RFAs we should be able to get all back, but from the UFA pool, who should be gone? Barabanov, who we traded for, wants around $4.5 to $5 million a season. Niederreiter, he was a little bit older, wants only a 1-year deal, but right around the same point as Barabanov. Dylan DeMello only wants $3 million, which is not really that bad, but we probably won't have a lot of cap space to work with, considering we are going to be paying money to Perfetti next season. And then Matt Roy does not want a lot, so we could definitely bring back Matt Roy on that deal. That's actually a pretty good contract, to be honest. And then, like I said, all these RFAs should be able to come back. I might be willing to give Heinola a decent amount of term. I know he's not going to really develop much, but he still should be a solid, like, top 6, top 4 option for this team. And then goalie-wise, there is also questions with Laurent Brossoit. Does he come back, or do we look for a new backup? He was great during the regular season. Does he come back for another year? So there is our contract situation. Let's go back to this screen. I have so many screens on OBS, it's just like which one is which, but I do have them all named, so I should know. Let's look at this progress reports. See if we got any good development from our prospects. So Perfetti and Heinola getting some growth. That's always good to see. A lot of statistical growth with players on this team that are much older. And yeah, that's basically that. In the system, Salmon jumped to a 76. That's kind of impressive. Wasn't expecting him to jump to a 76 like that. Lundmark's up to a 75. Kuzman's a 68. Salamonson a 70. Not bad. Capobianco got a little bit of statistical. Wagner went up a decent chunk. He's a 69 now at 20. Vesalainen actually got some growth. He's a 76, but I don't think he's going to get into our lineup. What else we got here? Connor Levi or Levis. I don't remember how it's pronounced. I think it's Levi. He's up to a 66 at 19. Barlow's up to a 68 at 19. Nikanen getting some growth. A lot of guys actually getting growth. Chaz Lucius up to a 75 already. Yeah, not bad. Brad Lambert a 70. I'll definitely take it. A lot of these guys still probably won't end up being much in the NHL level, but definitely good to always get some growth for our team. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the offseason here in 2024 as we look to try and find a way to getting this team being like better as soon as next season again, because obviously we don't have a huge window of contending. Like I said, we'll probably can try and contend for 2 to 3 years, so this might be one of our last runs before we decide to like kind of blow it up a little bit. So I think we might need to do some tough decisions in terms of this offseason, like trying to get rid of somebody maybe on the top 6, and then trying to see if we could find ourselves a new player for the top 6, or we could trade away somebody on the defensive core, like I mentioned, Neil Pionk, for example. We could use him to try and find a better forward for our team and try and get that depth scoring to be better, because that was definitely our biggest problem in the playoffs, and I think it needs to be addressed. So yeah, that's basically that. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.